So today we will explore some other problems on LODs only. So let me set the context for today's set of problems before we get into that. So if you might be familiar with NBA, it's a National Basketball Association in US. So just like how we have IPL here, they have NBA there. It's a league, basketball league. Which consists around like 30 teams and all. Okay, today will be so on this particular set of problems we'll be dealing with betting data. So we call it bookie data, betting data on this particular league. So let me just give you a brief terminology to understand all the questions and all. So a bookie is the one who is offering the bet. Okay, that person is called a bookie, and a company you place bet with, or a person or company. Data has 10 different bookies. So we are in the data that we are trying to look. We have 10 different bookies. They can be identified with bookie name and bookie ID, and there is some terminology related to basketball league. I'll get into that when required. So there is something called spread. Okay, think of it as a like this. I'll get a little detail actually a little later. Yeah. So this is the data that we have. We have each game represented by game ID, and in that particular game there can be multiple companies or bookies who are interested to bet. So we have multiple bookie IDs in that particular, and each bookie ID can represent, since the game involves two teams, he can put the bet on any of those teams, either one or or both the teams as well. So now there's something called spread. Now how the spread is defined is something like this. Think of a case, let's say if you have to bet in a cricket match, you will just go, okay, this team will win or not. That's a simple betting happen right there, yes or no sort of thing. But let's assume that if you're Australia is playing with some Afghanistan, then you definitely know the results of the team, results of the match, right? So in that case, in order to promote betting, what they did is they've the betting parts have been changed. So it will not bet on which team will win, but you'll bet on which team will win or lose by how much. So here it's also the same thing. Let's assume if we know that particular team is winning, and you can bet on it will win by how much runs, or if you know that this team is losing, it will lose by how many runs, likewise. So the spread is something that gives the same information related to in the basketball league. For example, let's assume in this particular game there is a team ID. For this particular bookie on this team, it was a spread of -4. That means the team name is Chicago Bulls. It's telling that, hey, and this is the definition basically. This guy is telling that, hey, I know this particular team will win in this match, but I not only I know that, but Chicago Bulls team will win by at least 4 points. Okay, that's his bet. And the same bet on the same match, this guy is telling the opponent team for this particular same match is telling, I know this team will lose, but it will lose by at least 4 points, and likewise. So that is the definition of spread. So if it is negative for a particular team in a match, then people are expecting that particular team will win in that match. If it is positive, then they're thinking that, hey, that team will lose in that particular match. Hope that is clear. So this is the data that which we have. The granularity is in each game we have different bookies who raise their bet on different teams with different spreads. Okay, and we have the team and opponent, and we have these few other fields here as well. The team is home field, which basically tells if the match is playing in the home ground of the team field, if it's played here or not, in which place. And then team results of the match, team win or loss. So if it is W, that means the team in the team column. So Chicago Bulls has won here, and in the same match, Indian Pacers have lost. Indiana Pacers have lost. So that is the brief overview of the data. I'll get into the problems we have, and I'll explain whenever required with some additional information. Okay, so this is the first question that we have. Explain this. So here they're trying to see, let me actually get the data. We'll have a look at the data. So this will, we're familiar with this look, so it will help us. Yeah. Here we have bookie ID, bookie name, and game call, right? Ignore this column for the timing, it's a calculated field. We have game data, game date, sorry, game ID, and we have the opponent and the opponent team abbreviation. So we will basically have two teams. The first primary team is called team, and the opponent team is called opponent, and their abbreviations and all. And we have the place where what type of league it is, opponent conference or opponent region, etc., and which season it is. And we have team ID, this column we know the region of the team, and I think those are the few base columns which we have in the incoming data, and rest all our calculated fields will go through. Close this now and come back to this question. Yeah, here we are exploring what is the lowest average spread for each year for the Global State Warriors. So Global State Warriors is a certain team, okay, and for the particular team we are interested in knowing across an year, across the years, what is the my lowest spread in a particular year. Okay, let me quickly show the visualization so you'll understand it a little better. So this is the final visualization. Yeah, so this is the final visualization we have, and here we can see across multiple years. In this particular year 2007 and 2008 combined, this is my lowest spread, average spread that I can expect across all the months for this particular team GSW. Now let's see how we can get achieve that. So yeah, this is just an little more information related to the problem. We have different games, and I filtered for only the team which we are interested in, GSW, and these are all the different opponents that which it had played games with. Okay, and in each of these games, these are the different bookies who have raised interest in betting the game for. And the value that we see here, the second value in each box itself is a spread for that particular specific bookie on that particular game. Okay, now we are interested in knowing the average for this particular team across all game IDs, and what is the minimum of across all those averages in a year. And let's go ahead and develop that. So first of all, we are only interested in one particular team, so I'll definitely go ahead and put that filter that team which we are interested in. And since we get to deal with a lot of LOD expressions, and in order not this filter to mess up with our calculations, I'll just convert it to context, so that only this data related to team GSW we will be working with on all the calculations. Now, okay, now I need to know the average spread. We just got we just saw the structure of all these things, how the my spread is present in the data. Now I'll have to look at the calculated field. Loading. let's say yes. Now we are here, we are basically looking at all the games that this particular team has played. So we need to build a calculation at a game level. Okay. Since there are multiple spread values across each game, just as how we saw different bookies can have different spreads, I need to get the average for each of the games. So fix it. I need to perform a calculation at a game ID level. So I'll do that. And I'll just take average of my spread from different bookies. Now this will give me spread for that particular across all. This will give me a table with each game and average spread value for that particular game. Now, if you see the question that we are interested in, what is the lowest average spread for each year for Golden State Warriors? So we need to get the value for each month and then take the minimum across all the we need to extract this game ID average spread value across all the year and find out the minimum and put that across throughout the year for that particular as a minimum spread value. So obviously we need to perform here the calculation at a year level. So we will perform fixed date chunk of year from game date. We have a date of the game field, and then from here we will extract the minimum of this value. Of this. Spread across years. So and simply I'll get my game date.
Basically, if you're taken for each year for each game, what is the average spread rate?
It's kind of that, and taking the I've used two different expressions because my aggregation is different in each one. One in the initial one I took average, and later I need to get the minimum of those averages that were present in that year. And my across years. So this is the each minimum spread value for each of the minimum average spread value for each year. So that for this particular team, and this is the solution that we have. And I hope this is clear, and I'll move on to the next one. The solution, and let's from next. Okay, this is question 2. How often do bookies call games right or wrong for Golden State Warriors? So let me explain the question here. Again, we are looking at this particular team, and let me jump back to the data. Okay, so let's assume that in this particular value, so the spread value here, if you see, this is raised by a certain bookie, which is bookie ID 19 on this particular game, right? And this is the result of that match. Negative means the bookie is confident. If he has put the negative value, that means he is confident that hey, his team will definitely win, will not only win but it will win by at least 4 points. That's what he is trying to tell. And the result of that match is this particular team, Chicago Bulls, on which he placed a negative spread, has won the match. That means that bookie has made a right raise of bet, right? And if he would have raised them positive one for this particular team, and this particular team has won here, then that means he had made a wrong claim. on this particular match on this particular team. So that is what in the second challenge he's asking. How often do bookies call games right or wrong? So if they have put a negative spread on that particular team, and how often they have actually won would be the right one. And if they've placed a negative and lost the game, that means that would be a wrong call. And likewise for the positive spread as well. Let's see how we can do this. Before, let's see the split. Okay, first, for each bookie, how many games have positive spread alongside a win or a negative spread alongside a loss? So this will give us the information about the wrong claims that he has made. A positive spread with a win, that would be a wrong, and negative spread with alongside a loss is also a wrong claim, wrong bet that he has made. So we need to find out that. Let's see how we can do that. Hope the question is clear. You can stop me if it is not. So the final visualization we'll be looking at is something like this. Okay, here we have different bookies that we have by bookie names, and of all the bets that they have raised in seven, this particular bookie has raised 731 of those bets as right, and 271 of them were wrong. So we need to get something like this. Okay, let's see how we can get that. Obviously, first of all, we need to find if a bookie has made a call, if it is a right call or wrong call. We need to get that information, right? So in order to get there, we have to understand the spread from the spread value. We'll have to, let me actually, on this. So yeah, so here we have a simple calculation field that will work at the team level. So the fixed the level of detail that I've placed here will work for each bet that they have that happened in the league. Okay, and if the spread for that particular bet is less than 0, then that bookie is expecting that he's winning, that particular team is winning. Okay, whatever the team that he has placed that negative spread on is winning, else that particular bookie is thinking that team is will be losing. So this is the same terminology that we discussed earlier, and we create this calculation. It will work at the every bet level, giving us, hey, if the bookie is expecting a win from this team or loss from this team. And now once I get that, let me create another calculation. I just have to see if the bookie is right or wrong. Okay, we just got the expectation of him, and that field is basically bookie expected to win. Okay, if bookie expected to win, is equal to the actual match result. Okay, which is team win or loss. Okay, which holds the same information if it's W or L based on the result of the match. Then that bookie is right, else is wrong. Okay, and since we are looking at again one particular team, I'll filter that out. Add to context, so it will not mess up with our fixed LODs. I'll get my bookie name, and all the number of bets that this particular each of these bookies have placed. I'll get that using number of records. And why is that? Because if you notice the calculation that we saw earlier, this particular level of detail in each game, in each book for each bookie and for each team. That is essentially the level of detail of our row. So when you are at this particular level, the number of record count will match with the actual number of bets that were made. So since my fixed calculation is already at this level, I can simply take up the number of records and see how many bets were made by each of these bookies. So since now I've got the total, I'll use the calculated field which I just created, right or wrong, bookie right or wrong, and I'll put it in color. Give it a minute. Text to get the numbers each of the bookie has made right or wrong. Hope this is clear. If it's not,
Jagdish, here we are considering only win or lose, right? We are not considering the magnitude of spread, right? Like whether the team has won by 4 and 4 or like.
That's right. I understood the question here, but as far as this challenge is considered, they're only taking, they're not taking that particular result. Okay. Again, here we are not giving the, if you see the data, let me go back to the data. Here the win and loss is not given at a game level. Okay, if this team has won or not, it's given at a bookie level. So for each bookie, so see, this is the single game, right? Single game ID, and for that game ID we have win and loss, win and loss, win and loss. So basically we looking at a bookie ID level win and loss. If this bookie has he has made this claim with this bet, and did he win that particular bet or not? We are not looking at the team.
Okay, the win here is like bookie level win or loss, not the team level. Okay, understood. Yeah.
And that's what has been defined here in the solution as well. Okay, if it's the negative and alongside a win, it's called right. The basically they define what is right and what is wrong already.
Yeah, understood.
Okay, hope this is clear. Calculation, if you know. Okay. Now let's move to a new thing. Okay. We'll take one more and close. Okay. Yeah. So this is the challenge 3, and here they're asking us between 2006 and 2010, how many games each bookie called right for the home team. Okay, so he has given us some time filter and also filter for home team. That means only on the bets where the team is playing in their home ground. So okay, so they have 2 filters: how many games each bookie has called right, which team does each bookie call right most often. So he's asking for two information. One is the number by how many bets he has won on this particular filter set of bets, and also on which team in that particular group does that each of the bookie win a lot. Okay, obviously he can place on multiple teams. So of all those teams, what is the one team where he always majorly wins when compared to all other teams? Hope the question is clear. If you see here, this particular bookie has made 3,199 right bets. Okay, and if you see, the bar is orange here because and the team that which he often wins very often is Cleveland, this particular team. So this is the team on which he always gets a win. So those are the 2 types of information which he is asking for. Let's see how we can get there. So obviously first I need to know if the game, whatever the bookie has been said, if he is calling it right or not, because I need the number, how many times that he has called right. So I need to get that, and I will get that just like how I can get with a simple calculation as we earlier did, if a bookie is right or wrong, or we can get it in another way as well. So let's see how I can get that. So before that, let me show this particular column here. So the column here we have a result of the each of the bookie, right? So for example, win or loss. Okay, here currently it's a string. What we can do is we can create a calculated field that says this. Team win and loss is equal to W. Then give me 1, else give me -1. We're just converting that string field into a numerical field for further use in order to get the right and wrong calls very easily. Click OK. And I'll create a new calculated field that will give me right or wrong if that particular game called right or wrong. So it's simply earlier we checked if it is less than 0 and the result of the match is W, then it is right call, right? Now we'll do that with a simple calculation, because with making use of the field that we just created. So for W we have put a +1 and for loss we have put a -1. So what we can do is we can calculate spread divided by win loss as number. Now this will give us the information either if it's a right or wrong. So if the spread is negative, that means the bookie is expecting the team will win. Okay, and if it wins, then it will have the value as 1. So negative by positive is a negative value. That means if this is less than 0, that bookie has made a right decision. If the spread is negative, but that particular bookie is expecting the team to win, but instead if that is the team has lost, then the denominator will be -1. In that case it will be a positive and it will be greater than 0. So this will turn out to be false and the game is not called right. So this will give us for each bet if that particular bookie has made a right call or not. Okay, and click once that is cleared. Now I need to calculate. Now since I defined how each of the bookie bet has been right or wrong, now I need to aggregate all the rights that have been made for each bookie, right? For in this particular in the particular set of filters that the question has been asked for. Let me okay, I think I already did it. Let me explain. So here the two filters that we saw is year filter from 2006 to 2010 in the question. So I'll just put a simple year filter here. Yeah, from 2006 to 2010, and make it context so it will not mess up your LODs. And also on the team is home filter, it's basically a true or false, and select true. That means only the matches only the teams where they are playing in home grounds will be considered and rest will not be considered. So now once that is done, you'll have to create a calculated field, basically giving you the number of games called right. Count distinct. Here we need to see the games called right, the field that which we created. Let me see if that's the field. Yeah. So this has to be right. Now here I'm trying to aggregate all the results, okay, making use of the earlier field. Count distinct of if game called right If it is true, then give me game ID. So it will only take the cases where the game is called right and get the count of all those particular bets related to that game. Okay, and that now the task is I've got the count for each of the games. The count distinct of all the games where he has called. Now I need to basically I can simply do a bookie level sum that will give me this number, but I need to extract the team for which he has getting most wins. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to find out at a bookie level and at the team level what is the maximum number of correct bets that he has got. So for that I will create another calculation. So let me call this booking max for game score. Obviously I'm looking at the each bookie and the team level, so I'll perform a fixed bookie ID comma team and get the sum of all the rights that I've got, so which is basically games called right field that which we created just now. Okay, this is already count distinct we have used, so it doesn't need one more aggregation on the top of that, so it's good with this. Yeah, now this particular fixed calculation will give me a table for each bookie, all the teams that he has placed bet on, the how many rights correct bets that he has got for each of those team he has placed bets on. Now from this particular table I need to extract the maximum rights that he got, the team for which he got a maximum bets right. So again I'll write another calculation fixed at the bookie ID level. So for each bookie I need a certain team, get maximum of this particular value and close the LOD. So this will give me for each bookie okay, the maximum number of the team, the number for which team he has made the right number of maximum number of bookings bets. Hope that is clear. And now we will use that number to extract the name of that particular team. We'll just create another field. Again we need to perform at a fixed key level. Fixed key if this calculation fixed bookie ID comma team, my number of rights, games called right, if this is equal to my maximum bookie value, If that is the case, then give me the team name, for which team that particular is there, and close this if. Since this one will give LODs always require aggregations, we need to provide some temporary aggregation for this. Okay, let me check. Follows. Okay. I have my filter set, and I'll quickly bring my okay ID, okay name, and then games called right. Yep, and I will just get the text. I'm unable to show the tooltip for the time being, but let's check the number. 3199 for this one, 3599, and 238 for you, Liger. 238. Okay, so the numbers are right, and let's quickly set the team name. So the last calculation that which we made, let's call this into color. And we got the same, so that should be 5 times calls on CLE. Okay, let's go here and put the team abbreviation in label. So that should be okay. That's okay. Let me do this. So yeah, the first one is Cleveland Cavaliers or something, and we got Cleveland Cavaliers, and let's see for this one. Yellow, which is San Antonio Spurs. In this one we have San Antonio Spurs. So hope this was clear. If you have any questions, let me know. So what we got here is for each bookie we got the number for how many times that the bets he has made out of the number of times he has made bets, how many he got right, and what team that he is most likely to make a right bet on. So that is the information that was present in this view. It needs a little bit of formatting, but we'll skip that for now. So those are the 3 exercises we'll go through for today, and we'll see the next remaining in the upcoming sessions.